a live podcast for the. Wait, what's going on here? Why was there delay? Anyway, let me start it again. Welcome, everybody. It's your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by drifters. Welcome to another episode. We are on season 3, episode 11, and yeah, we're keeping it going. I've been having some crazy issues for the past 2 days. Uh, yeah, things are going really strange here in Durban, where we are. We're having crazy power outages, and we're having issues with internet connectivity. And today has been especially bad because, like I said, we've had it was a quiet moment, and this afternoon, just before I could leave for work, a mini substation close, like literally in front of my office, in front of the building, it blew up, gave us a heart attack, and then yeah, so power was out there. Then come home, and everything was cool, and maybe about an hour or so earlier, or 2 hours earlier, we had about 4 or 5 mini substations blow up around Durban. So pretty much half of Durban is without power at the moment. So please bear with me if the internet connection isn't too good. I know the audio is going to be a little bit odd, but let me try something. Okay, dancing dangerously here. Jeez. Okay. How's that? Is that better? I hope it is. It should be okay. Cool. Anyway, we are back. Hey, Pascal, thank you so much for joining in, man. I know you're quite eager to get to your part. It is better. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Actually, I had the earphones plugged in, and I'm staring at it, and I'm not realizing that, I got it plugged in, and you can't hear. You won't be able to hear too well. But nevertheless, we are here. We are back. And I hope today's episode is going to be exciting for you guys. I was meant to actually have a guest on this week, but just with things a little bit unsure, I just couldn't take a chance, and I didn't want to take a chance and bring on another guest when we're having some of these issues. So hopefully everything will be sorted out this week, and then I'll be able to bring on my guest next week. And the guest being a good friend of mine, great contributor to the RC drifting community. Is none other than Asad Al Mahsiri from Team Jordan. Obviously, I think if you guys are in the game long enough, you will know that name. You will know the brand as well. Team Jordan, maker of the Beast Mode series of conversion kits for your GOM, YD2, and the MST as well. Doing some brilliant work, and you guys should definitely check it out and give him some support. Even if it's not by purchasing a product necessarily, but by showing interest in what he does. I'm sure he will appreciate it a hell of a lot. So, getting right into it, there's so many things I wanted to talk about, and hopefully we can get through everything. I apologize if the lighting isn't too good, but but I think I can do something about it. If you guys don't mind giving me like literally just 1 minute, I'm sure I can sort something out. So just hang on, I'll chat with you guys in the meantime. So at least we're keeping the conversation going, and there isn't any dead time. So I think the first thing I wanted to touch on with you guys is, time to time we get these trends coming into RC traffic, and be it a product, be it a style, be it a driving style, time to time we tend to see these things coming on. So I found it quite interesting, and I've been trying to like sort of read between the lines and see what's going on in the world out there. And from what I noticed, okay, woo, jeepers. Okay, how's that? Is that any better? Hopefully, I just need to. Sorry for the noise. Sorry for the noise. Just need to set this thing up and stay. There we go. You can see my face a little better. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about trends in RC drifting and the current trend that is sort of bubbling up underneath. Um, I'm sure you've seen. Behave, behave yourself. Jeez. And I'm sure you've seen the new chassis being released at the moment. New conversion kits. It's all very very nice and very very interesting. And this lends itself to some of the trends that I'm starting to see. And I don't know if some of you guys have noticed, but what I have noticed is there's a slow but sure move towards the weight shift style of drifting. I don't know if you guys notice it. A typical example is the new, which is another thing I'd like to talk about as well. It's a new a chassis that's being released by Wrap Up Next, which is the Traverse 2, and we'll come back to that a little bit. So when you look at that layout, you'll notice the layout of the car. It's lending itself towards weight shift drifting, and I think for a lot of guys, especially the older guys, we have always been aware of weight shift drifting, especially with the RER hybrid, the D-like RER hybrid. Um, George, who? Okay, somebody wants to join the live. George, could you please just send me a message first, or post up in the comments here first before I bring you onto the live, and then I just would like to know a little bit more about you and a little bit more about what you would like to talk about, and then we can bring you on. I hope you understand, and I hope you don't mind. So back to what I was saying was about the trends in RC drifting, be it a style or electronics or a body or whatever it is. But for now, what I'm seeing is a driving style, a genuine movement towards the weight shift style of drifting. Hey George, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you coming onto the podcast. So you wanted to join in live on the podcast. Could you please just fill me in, give me a little bit more info, and then we'll take it from there. Yo, what's up, Rob? Thank you so much for joining in, man, all the way from Arizona. Really, really appreciate it. So perhaps you can contribute that way. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Have you guys noticed any trends coming into RC drifting? And like I was saying, I touched on the One Traverse, the new One Traverse 2 chassis, which is going to be released sometime in December. And the layout of it lends itself towards the weight shift style of drifting. Now, we know D-like has been doing the weight shift style like forever. They've been doing it since, wow, I think since even before I started drifting, I think they've been that long in the game. And so we see I'd like to say that we see a return of it, because I'm sure there's been a trend where there was a weight shift style. So we see the return of weight shift style of drifting, where you got the ultra soft dampers, and you see the just for the sake of understanding, we see the exaggerated body roll movement, and of course, it's not just Uh, hey, what's up, Diego? Thank you for joining, man. Okay, so I see there are a few new guys, new faces in here. I'd like to say a huge welcome to you all. I'm your host, Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. We are in season 3, and this is episode 11. Um, had a big lull in the episodes, but we are back and doing this. So we are busy talking about the weight shift style of drifting, or what I see as a trend starting to bubble up underground. A lot of guys won't be able to achieve that. I myself uh, probably won't be able to. I'd love to try it, and uh, I'm definitely going to put some effort into getting that style going. It's going to take a bit of time, but I am committed to getting that right. And I think it does look quite exciting. I think it would add to a bit of realism, provided that the body roll or the movement isn't too exaggerated. I think then we'll give it a little bit more realism in there. Hey, what's up, Garrett? Thank you so much for joining in, man. Yeah, all's good here. Got some technical issues, but we yeah, moving along. We're getting over it, so it's all good. It's all good. Um, okay, just to put it out there, what I'm trying to get is a mic, a proper condenser mic for doing the podcast. So if if you guys are in a position to or would like to contribute towards the show and to me improving the show, just send me a DM. I'll send you a PayPal address, and then if you like, you can assist there. Um, or you can assist in that way. Or if there's some other way you would like to contribute towards the show, because I'm also trying to get merchandise going. It's a little bit slow, but it's coming there. If you feel you can assist the show in that way, please send me a message. Otherwise, just come on, enjoy the show, and comment. I love when you guys interact, and we'll take it from there. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I'd love to hear from some of you guys. What do you think the new trend in RC drifting is? So this is just what I've noticed. I have been speaking to someone in out in Japan. More specifically, I follow him on Instagram. He goes by the handle outclip underscore Takeda. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, Outclip Takeda. So I go on his lives, and I try and to talk to him. So, but it's interesting. What I found out was that it isn't so much the trend out in Japan isn't so much about weight shift, uh, although there is a growing number of guys leaning towards that, excuse the pun, leaning towards the weight shift style, but the trend now is becoming more big angle. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, it's not something like uh, fantastic or incredible out there or extraordinary. But it is interesting to see that now they are starting to drive with and throwing big angle. So who knows? Maybe that will catch on to other regions, other parts of the world. You never know. Um, okay, and this so that I think we'll cap it off there for the trends in RC drifting at the moment. Um, what and this is a little bit of info and perhaps something a little bit nostalgic for the more experienced guys, how to drift in a train. And I'm sure the experienced guys drifting in a train have definitely come across this issue when drifting in a train, that you have there's always that one or two guys that's just got no clue about how to keep in a train, and then just doing everything and disrupting the entire flow. So this segment of the show is for you guys. Garrett says, "Can't beat big backies." Yeah, man. You you really can't, and you have to uh, know how to control the car. And also, I believe your setup needs to be tuned to be able to do that, because not everybody's set up. Like my car, the way I've set it up for the way I drive, I could never do a backy. But at the same time, the surface that I drift on doesn't isn't conducive to doing big backies. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my setup. So yeah, we're talking about how to drift in a train, guys, and perhaps guys who also try and drift in a train. You could listen up here. How to drift in a train? You always follow the person in front of you, plain and simple. The first car, the lead car, always sets the tone, and the follow cars always follow the tone. I think what happens a lot of the time is we we wanna we have this notion of being so much into the door or getting into the door. You want to be so close so badly that you end up over pressurizing the lead car and getting too much in there and pushing him unnecessarily, and then you get problems. You get tapping and crashing and everything, and that's where the issue is. So when drifting in a train, always follow the lead car, always follow the tone set by the lead car. Garrett says distance control, not full pace and smooth. Yes, agreed. Pascal says train, look forward and back, never to be much in the inside, and mention a constant distance. Absolutely 100%. You, as the follow car, especially as the follow car, you need to play a role. You need to stay in your lane. Moazib says safety distance is key. Yes, that's true. How's it, Moazib? Thanks for joining in, my bro. Um, yeah, so the trick is in a train, you don't need to be on the lead car's door. You don't. It's not necessarily. You're not necessary. You're not required to be on the person's door. You can be close, but you don't need to be pushing the lead car hard. And same, so you are the follow car, and same with the follow car, and same with the follow car. You need to maintain the same distance, speed, and tone of the drift. The lead car, always remember, the first car, the lead car always sets the tone for the train, and then each car needs to follow the car in front of you. And if you follow the car in front of you by keeping these guidelines in mind, you'll end up with a beautiful 5 car, 10 car, however many cars you guys have on the track. You'll end up with that amount of cars in a train. And it really is a beautiful thing when you have a train going. Everybody's playing their role, staying in their position, keeping that constant speed, that constant control. It's a beautiful thing, and that's how you should behave when you're drifting in a train. Now, if you are the kind of driver that's a little bit more aggressive and likes to push drivers, then simply wait for your turn to lead the train, and then you set the tone. So you can go as fast as you want and as hard as you want, and you because you are setting the tone. And if everybody is conscious about that, then they will follow suit. And what happens is you end up with another beautiful train. So just remember, guys, when you're drifting in the train, always follow the lead car, follow the tone set by the lead car, and you will have the best of times. It really is a really, really good feeling when you are drifting in the train and you're just maintaining your car, maintaining the drift as is. You're not slowing up, you're not speeding up. You just nice and smooth and easy in the train. It's a beautiful thing. So just remember, these are the guidelines for drifting in a train, and you guys will enjoy it. So That's one of our guidelines and tips and tricks for RC drifting for this week. The next little segment I like to add now is the stranger things of RC drifting. Let's see, Muslim says, let the lead car be the shepherd. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly how you need to be in a train. Yeah. So the next segment, stranger things in RC drifting. So, a friend of mine tagged me in a post under the Sakura D5 Brotherhood group on Facebook. And I must admit, this is one of the most stranger things I've seen in RC drifting since I've started. Now, some people have always had issues with the dampers, be it how they build it, they don't know how to build it correctly, they don't know how to tune it correctly, so they end up with all sorts of issues, either dampers leaking or the dampers are uneven, like in the rear, for example, the both the rear shocks are uneven, they compressing at different rates, stuff like that. So one person has decided to come up with an idea. I can't say that it's an ingenious idea, but it certainly is a stranger thing that I've seen. It's a strange idea. I've never seen anybody actually go for it and do it. But okay, so this is what the guy came up with. He 3D printed a few parts that fit onto the A arms, the lower and upper arms, and by using the opposing forces of magnets, he's created a dampening situation, if I could put it that way. I know, strange, right? But it's the most craziest thing. I think I did save the post, and I'll try and post that onto my page or lead you to that post. He has given the 3D files to print the parts to make it work, but it's the strangest thing I've ever come across. I'd like to call it magnetized dampening. So it's basically two magnets, two opposing magnets. So as we know, magnets repel each other, the opposite poles repel each other. So you set it up that way so that each time it comes close, it repels. So he's also made it adjustable so that you can sort of extend the heights of the magnets so that it will give you either less or more dampening. He's put up a run as well to show that it's working, and I have to admit that it does sort of work to some extent. However, I think that it will only work in a flat situation, where a really flat track, like an indoor track, for example, or a carpet track, where there's no, you don't have any. It's just really smooth and flat. You don't have any much bumps or anything to deal with like that. So it's very very strange. It's yeah. A very very odd thing to come across. I'll post up and then you guys can see what I'm talking about. So credit to that actually goes to Bastian Schneider. Bastian Schneider, very interesting concept. Perhaps you could develop it further. However, to be honest, I honestly don't think it's going to become a a commercially viable thing, or a thing that many people uh, are gonna actually lean towards. It's crazy, man. Yo, what's up, Rob? Sakura makes this magnetic damper. I missed the intro. No, 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 Rob. So what happened is, a friend of mine by the name of Sinead, who's also a club member, he tagged me in a post on the Sakura D5 Brotherhood group, where a guy by the name of Bastian Schneider has come up with this crazy concept of a magnet damper. So I just call it a magnetized dampening system. So it's two opposing magnets, so that the opposite poles are facing each other, and then it creates the dampening uh, situation. It's crazy. There is a video of him run, and it sort of works, but I don't see it really working too well. It is adjustable. You can adjust the heights of the magnets. I'll post it up, and then you guys can have a look and take it from there. Okay, Moses says has a question. Yeah, while I was drifting my car around the bend, it's leaning too much on the right compared to the left. Any idea why? Could it be weight, load, or suspension? Let's see, leaning more to the right, to the left. Yeah, look. So it could be a number of things. It could be there's a difference in weight from left to right. It could be that your suspension setup from left to right is not equal. So it could be that your steering is not centered and not equal. So there's a whole lot of things you can go through one by one and just check those, do those checks on the cars, and then take it from there and then sort each thing out. The trick though is when you're tuning or getting things right is change one thing at a time. You don't change a million things, otherwise you will forget what you've changed. So change one thing at a time, test it, come back, and then move on from there. Rob, so I was right. It was a Sakura Brotherhood creation. Yeah, all the Stranger Things are in these groups. Prove me wrong. Well, you know what? It's the first time I've ever seen such a strange thing, and this comes under the Stranger Things segment of the Birok RC show. So it's I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. Um, and you know me, I am Mr. Diplomatic, and I like to give credit where credit is due. And sometimes I tend to sugarcoat things that shouldn't be sugarcoated. But and sue me if you will, but I'd like to give him credit. I'd like to credit him for coming up with this crazy concept of dampening using magnets. I think it's completely out of the box, something completely different to what we are usually used to. And I give him credit for that, for exploring such a weird, strange idea. Whether it works or not is irrelevant at the moment. The thing that I'm impressed with is that we are still having or getting people out there who's thinking completely out the box and trying to think of something completely different to what's being produced at the moment. And you know, we gotta pay attention to these guys, because in between all of the weird, strange things, there's definitely gonna come out something beautiful, and that's where we must jump on it quickly. So Ross Burton says no slipper clutch installs on the Brotherhood channel. I don't think so. Ross says, "Hey brother, good to see everyone. I definitely want to tinker with this idea of magnetic dampening." Um, yeah, I will share the post on my page, or my profile, on my personal profile, and then you guys can see from there, and try it out. Make of it what you will. Hover dampers. Maybe it's the future. Perhaps. Maybe somebody picks it up and, you know, I don't know, maybe develops it further, tries different magnets, different shape magnets. Um, I don't see it working in every case though. I don't know. I'm not completely convinced, but the one run that he did do looked sort of okay. I mean, he got around the track, but it wasn't the best drifting. So it could have also been that he's just a little bit inexperienced in drifting. So which is why it didn't look like really good. And then it could be a combination of both. So we'll just have to wait and see and track it and see from there what happens. Okay, no, we've been through that. We've been through that. Right, on to the next thing. The one part of the show where I usually discuss what's new in RC drifting. What are we looking for? What's bubbling under? What are people, what are manufacturers slowly putting out there? Okay, Rob says a question here on carpet. Yes, he is. Yes, he did drift on carpet. So yeah, there's all those factors. So I think a whole lot more testing needs to be done in order to rule out everything or what confirm his idea. I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see and keep track of it. I'll try and get him on. Yes, actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll try and get him on next week just to pick his brain a little bit about this idea of magnet dampers and what led into this idea and what is his theory or thinking or ideology behind these magnet dampers. It's going to be interesting. So I'll work on that. I'll try and get him on the show. Um, so yes, exciting news, very very exciting news. As we know, there have been a number of chassis, new chassis that have been released. Yokomo with the MD1, MST with their chassis. Damn, what is the name of it? The MRX, yes, the MRX. And then RevD has been teasing us with their new chassis, the RGX. And GAM tried to throw in their bones there with calling it a new chassis kit, but really they just released two different or a set of different chassis plates, a little bit slimmer, um, and well, that's about it. That's in addition to the regular sort of upgrades and stock that they produced and put on. Mozum says, could it be my canvas? It's possible. It could be camber, it could be a toe as well. You have to do the check. So you got to make sure that your car is equal left and right. And I can tell you more about that a little bit. Rob Nick says, I'm still waiting for the Team Magic E2D MF Pro. Rob, is that the D-Like Evil equivalent? Which reminds me, I still have my Evil. I need to put a new front one-way in there, or at least to get a new front one-way, because I actually have all the parts to convert it to rear-wheel drive. But yeah, I don't need to do that anymore. So yeah, again, we go back to what I was talking about, or trying to talk about, is the new products being released. MST with the MRX, Yokomo with the MD1, and then just after they release the MD1, they release an SD1. So MD being master drift, and then the SD being standard drift or special drift or something drift, one of those. Um, so I just hope that they don't start this whole monotonous thing of trying to milk that name to heaven and back. I just hope that they do that. And then, like I said, RevD has been teasing us with the RDX, which they still haven't released as yet. I don't know why. MST is sort of beating them. GAM with the chassis plates. And then we have Wrap Up next, coming back into the scene with a very much loved model chassis from them, which is the Traverse 2 more specifically. So this chassis comes out just after 4 years from the original, the version 1. We'll call it a version 1 Traverse. And I know it was a very much loved chassis by a lot of OG drivers. Muslim says, thanks, Bob. Really enjoy your shows and advice. Then only a pleasure, my man. Thank you for joining in always. You are a strong supporter of the show. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, so it's called the Traverse 2 LCS, load control style. So I think now you realize how this ties into what I was talking about earlier, as in what kind of drifting style or what kind of style we are meeting up with or is bubbling under. It's the weight shift style of drifting that's starting to come in. So with things like the Traverse now producing a chassis that's directed at weight shift drifting, and this is besides what we have already with regards to the D like RER hybrid. Um, we've got now the Traverse 2 LCS kit coming in, so it's going to be very interesting. They expect the chassis to be circulating in about December or so. So it's going to be very, very, I think, 2023. Yeah, we're in 2022. 2023 is going to be a very, very interesting year for RC drifting. And I think it's going to be very, very exciting. And I hope everybody joins in on this incredible journey and keeps drifting and keeps it going, especially in their local scenes. Support your local hobby shops, support your local tracks, more especially support your local tracks, because if you don't have a track, you don't have a place to drift, and then you will just drift away from drifting. So we don't want that. Support your local scene, guys. And let's see what else. Oh yes, we have Rhinomax releasing their Shark conversion kit for the YD2, I believe. And I know my good friend Daniel. He's actually he does have that kit with him, and he's been testing and trying it out. And he is so excited about this kit. I mean, it looks mean. It has a huge amount of adjustability, and I think it's really, really good. So we'll just have to wait and see what else, how many more people are trying this conversion kit out, and then we'll take it from there and see what they say. With that, Team Jordan and the Beast Mode released a new conversion kit for the MST, and I think the guys out in at Scale Science, Jordan Munch specifically, he has that kit, and this thing looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks beautiful. And with that, side note, happy birthday, Jordan. Hope you have an awesome day. Guys, if you know Jordan Munch from Scale Science, go check out his profile, check out his page. Scale Science are doing some amazing stuff there. Go follow his YouTube channel as well. Very, very entertaining. They have a huge amount of knowledge amongst them, and really bunch of really, really good guys there. If you're out in the US, you should definitely be checking out their channel and joining their live shows as well. So Rob says Yogi. Yeah, yeah, man, Yogi Bear. um, so that sort of closes the what's new out in RC drifting, yeah, in the markets there in RC drifting, which leads me to my next segment of the show, where I like to feature some of the goings on around the world. Let's see. Yasi says, "Oh, sorry for journey late. Power just came on, and so did my Wi-Fi." All good, man. All good, man. Yes, is where we've been having some crazy times here with the power these past days. Even in Durban, half of Durban is without power because we've had substations blowing up and everything. But that's a story for another day. Um, I'm glad you finally made it, but a little bit late. But nonetheless, we still appreciate you being here. Um, the next part of the show is where I just like to feature some of the events that have been happening from around the world. Most notably was the Super G Drift finals out in USA that happened over the weekend, and I was quite excited that I had actually been invited to come out and compete at the finals. Unfortunately, things did not work out as planned, and I wasn't able to get myself out there. And in hindsight, I think it might have been better that I things didn't work out because I think I was actually needed here at home. But nevertheless, there's always going to be another opportunity. If not an event, then I'll visit and we'll make it an event. So the Super G drift finals was actually really, really nice. I was trying to follow it as much as I could, and as always, Joey and Steve from Super G and their team, big shout out to you guys. They always put on a really, really nice event. And you just need to watch the videos, live videos, or even attend one of the events to know that they run a very, very nice competition. They have the cameras all over. They have a replay features in there. They have multiple cameras capturing all the angles. It's done really, really well. The competition there, I think it was quite tight. So I'll just jump straight into the first, second, and third place. I'm sorry, I didn't record who got the top qualifier, and I didn't check what the score was. So please forgive me for that. But anyway, right into it. In first place, it was Alfred Chan. I don't know him, but I think I would like to get to know him a little bit. Perhaps I could try and get him on the show as well. Second place was a good buddy, Justin Wilming. I'm sure you guys have heard of him as well. And in third place, we have, and please forgive me if I butcher your name, it's Hao Huang. I hope I said that right. Dude, I'm so sorry if I got your name mixed up. Please forgive me. I am trying. But if I didn't get it right, please send me a voice a message pronouncing your name, and I promise you I'll learn it properly and I'll say it right the next time. So yeah, the competition was tight. The drifting was really good. The quality of drifting, I think, was really nice. So a big shout out to everybody that competed at the Super G Drift Finals, guys. All the different clubs and a whole bunch of people. So a few friends of mine, the Club Pogi guys, the girls of RC Drifting Day. Brenna and Alexis and the other lady, I've forgotten the name. I'm so sorry, but keep it up, guys. You guys made it into the. I know Brenna made it into the top 32. Well done on that. And it's nice to see that the ladies, the females, are getting involved in RC drifting, because I mean it's a hobby for everybody. So I spoke to Joey and Steve, and I was just curious about what everybody's driving out there. Just out of curiosity, just to make an observation, not really a comparison, but just an observation. So, and I wrote this down. There were 20 RevD MC1s, 23 YD2s, and that includes about half of them were running like some sort of conversion kit, either TDP or Beast Mode or D1 Factory, or whichever the conversion kits were. They didn't give me exactly the names. There were 4 overdose GAMs and 4 MST RMX. And I must make a note, or must also say that it's not an accurate number of cars counted there, but that's approximately that's the number of cars and that were there, and the type and the models. So very interesting to see that the YD2, the Yoko and the Rev D were pretty. It was almost 50-50 there, with a few other chassis thrown in a mix. So very interesting. I guess that tells you a lot about the cars themselves. But at the same time, let's just be straight up and frank about it. The YD2 was designed by guys who are now working with, or who are now called RevD. So if you have to make a very blunt comparison about it, it really is them versing them themselves. A bit of a strange one. Me, there was something weird going on there. One second, I'm back. Wow, sorry about that, guys. Um, so yeah, like I said, I'm having quite a few technical difficulties here. I'm sure you can hear all of that. And I'm trying to get myself set up again. So this is why I need help, man. Okay, forget this issue. Right, okay. My apologies for that, my people. I'm trying to sort myself out, as you can see, but at the same time, I don't wanna stop doing my podcast. So I hope you will forgive me for the for all this nonsense that's going on. Yo, Zach, how you doing, my man? Thank you so much for joining in. Really, really appreciate it. I know you the time zone out there in the US is a bit strange, but yeah, thanks so much for joining in, and also well done on the finals day. I know the competition must have been quite hectic, but yeah, well done on doing what you did, and well done to all the guys out there. Team Bubble Milk, yes, big shout out to you guys. Club Pogi, Dory Lounge. Let's see who else. I don't know who else. I'm trying to get all the club names, but yeah, well done to all you guys. So it's, yeah, like we were saying, it's interesting to see the number of YD2s and the number of MC1s. Uh, uh, and but what's more interesting is the number of overdose grams and the MSTs. I'm actually a little bit surprised that there aren't more, even MST. I'm surprised there aren't more MSTs out there. So if I had to compare though, oh, actually, we'll get to that comparison there. So yeah, but that's what the numbers look like. It's pretty much even Steven with the Yoko versus the Rev D. And I think by the numbers that will tell you how well or how good the chassis themselves are. So yeah, I think it speaks for itself really. Um, so, and before we go any further, I'd just like to give a big shout out to one of the good followers of the show, Jeffrey Ebersol. I hope I said your name right, but Jeffrey. Um, so he has a really really cool competition coming up this Saturday out in out in Indiana. It's a explicit angles track. So the track for the guys out in the US, the track is northeast of Indiana near Fort Wayne. Uh, you guys can find can find it. It's at the explicit angles track. 15th October, which is this Saturday, they have a 1 in 24 scale comp going on. So if you guys would know or would recall, during the pandemic period, everybody was like, we don't know what the hell to do. We can't get to the track, or we can't drift inside. What do we do? So then we had a small explosion of smaller scale RC cars, which was the 1 in 24 scale cars. That scene blowing up. And a lot of people have actually left the 1 in 10 and opted for 1 in 24, which is pretty, I'm a little bit sad about it, but I'm happy that they're still drifting. So now I believe that this competition is one of the first 1 in 24 scale competitions in the US. So if you are anywhere near explicit angles and near Indiana and Fort Wayne, I urge you to attend the comp, even if you don't want to participate in the comp, but just attend as a spectator and enjoy the day. And maybe it'll motivate you to join in. So if you need any more info, please contact Jeffrey on Facebook, or look for the Explicit Angles page on Facebook, and then you can catch them. You can catch them there. Ah, there you go. Jeffrey's here. You said my name correctly. Cool. I'm happy. Thank you. Let's see. Yasin says, was that the only chassis that competed? No D5. Yeah, yeah, Yasin. That's exactly what it is. It was MC1s, YD2s, a few GAM, a few RMX, and that's it. No Sakura DeFis, which is very interesting. But yeah, that's how that the finals went down there. And then next, another good friend of mine, Pascal Bieri from Switzerland in the Swiss slide wars that's going on there. He tagged me in one of his posts after seeing. Okay, Zachary says there were a few D5s. Okay, so there you go, Yasin. Zachary just confirmed that. Yeah, I actually I did mention that Joey and Steve said that it wasn't a complete list, and it wasn't a completely accurate list of all the guys and all the chassis that were being used there. So thanks, Zach, for um, just clearing that up. So yeah, Pascal. So their last competition was held on the 1st of October, and in first place was Elias Toto. Second place was Rafael Nikolic. I hope I said that right. And third was Eric, and I'm not going to even attempt to say your surname because that is difficult. So those were the three at the first, second, and third in the last comp. So interesting to note that at the Swiss Slide Wars, so this is out in Europe, okay? There were 19 Yoko chassis, including those with conversion kits, 8 RevD MC1s, 8 MST chassis, that's the RMX and the KMW, 2 GAMs and 2 other chassis. There's one. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Toto is actually using a completely custom chassis. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's completely custom. And there's one guy who's using another chassis that didn't declare what chassis he was using. Okay, so Zach says Chris Steele and Brandon Strickland, I believe, from Team Outbreak compete with the D5. Okay. Yeah, nice. Pascal says that's the problem when you have 3 languages in one country. Names are special. Yeah, clearly. But I hope I didn't butcher the names too well. Too bad, sorry. So okay, so now from Europe, I mean from the US, comparing to what's going on in Switzerland, in Europe, we have the Yoko being more dominant, but we have a larger number of MST and larger number of MST users. From what I've heard and experienced is that MST does have a slightly larger following in Europe compared to other places. I stand to be corrected, but this is just something that I've noticed personally. And if it's different, then please, correct me. Pascal said, if you want to see the battles, all battles are recorded and upload on the Facebook site. Thanks so much, Pascal. Really appreciate it. You guys can go check out the Swiss Slide Wars page, and he uploads. That's a page that he's talking about. He uploads all of his stuff there. Zach says, I'm not sure if Phil was there. There were 70 drivers, but I know Chris and Brandon were definitely there. Wow, 70. That is crazy. That's a huge amount of drivers. And well done again to Super G and the whole team there for organizing such an event and handling 70 drivers. So Zach, if you don't mind jumping in the comments there, can you give us just a quick comment about how it was organized? Was it just based on your experience? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it okay? Let us know how it went, and from your side, just personally, how did you find the competition there? Which brings me to the next point. I really should try and get either Joey or Steve into the show. Hopefully, I can. And then with that, I'd like to put something out there. If you are a sponsored driver, um, it doesn't matter which brand, which company you are sponsored by. I would like to invite you to be a guest on the show and speak about your experience as a sponsored driver. Talk a little bit about the brand or brands that are sponsoring you, and just give them a shout out. Give the viewers an overall view of the product and the brand that you're representing, and how we can also get our hands on those products. So there's an invite out there. If you are not a sponsored driver, but you perhaps you know somebody who is, please send them this invite. Let them know. Tell them I would like them to be a guest on the show, and we can. And then just message me, and then we'll arrange everything. Uh, I think I will leave the my comments about sponsorship and sponsored drivers in my next episode. I think it'll be a really cool topic to speak about, because a lot of people don't realize and don't understand the complexities behind being a sponsored driver. Pascal says already here. Okay, awesome. We'll look at. I'll chat with you, and perhaps you can be a guest on next week's show. Okay, Zachary says organizing gets better every year. It's impressive how much better it gets. Um, I was very impressed that it released a drivers meeting on YouTube for drivers prior to the competition. Yeah, actually it's the first time I've seen that as well, and I must admit I watched that whole drivers meeting, and it was very clear, it was well explained. um uh, there was there wasn't anything, I didn't have any questions. I mean, I tried to put myself in that sort of position as if I was competing, just to, um, you know, just to get an idea. And I must admit that the video was done very, very well. And I read the rules for the comp as well. Very comprehensive, very, very clear. I think it was done quite nicely. This definitely helped speed things along. Awesome, man. Okay, so if you guys know or don't know Zach, he's out in the US, I think Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken. And Zach, am I correct in saying that you are a sponsored driver by Accuvance USA? Zach, it was definitely nice to be able to watch it as many times as you want. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Zach, like I was saying, I believe you are a sponsored driver for Accuvance USA. If yes, would you like to be a guest on next week's show? You don't have to give an answer straight away. You can let me know. You can message me. Think about it, and then just message me and let me know. But it's an open invite to yourself and to all other sponsored drivers. Uh, eh, I would like to have you on the show as a guest, and then just get your experience. So let me know in the just message me, and we'll take it from there. So guys, I think I have. Let's see. Zachary says I'll do my best. Shoot me a date and time. Yeah, it'll be next week, Monday, and it will be around. We can make it around this time. I don't know what's your time. Out there now, but my time here in South Africa is 10:30 in the evening. So let me know if around this time suits you, and then we can take it from there. Or else, I run my show from 9:30, so it's already been running an hour. And within this hour, at any time, if you come on, then we can just add you in. You don't. It's not going to be long. It will be maybe 10 minutes max, and then you'll be free to go and do whatever else you need to do. So, guys, that brings this to the end of today's episode. Thank you once again for watching the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. I hope I have managed to entertain you a little bit and perhaps given you some some interesting points to think about. I know there's some stranger things that we need to look at as well. And which reminds me, I will find that post and repost it on my page so you guys can also get an idea of what we spoke about earlier with this mysterious, strange thing called magnet dampers. It's crazy. It's so out there. We definitely have to explore it. So thank you everybody once again for joining in onto this episode of the B-Rock RC show. Remember, if you would like to contribute towards the show, please message me and I will forward you my PayPal address. If you would like to contribute to the show in other ways, be it contributing content, or you would like to assist with merchandise as well, which I'm trying to get out. So please give me a shout, and then I will let you know how you can be, how you can contribute. And if you're not in that position to contribute, I would just love if you like follow the page and just joined and watch a few minutes of the podcast, and perhaps just sharing. Sharing is caring. So thank you guys. Take care, be safe. I'd love to see you again next week, same time, same place, right here on the B Rock RC show. Keep drifting and see you guys next week. Peace.